Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the K2 Crawley for the English National Badminton Finals. 3 finals down with 2 remaining, and the next game on court is the women's singles between the number 1 seeds Heather Over and Lauren Smith and the number 3 seeds Jenny Moore and Viki Williams. Now their routes through to the final. Heather Over and Lauren Smith coming through with a bye in the opening round, and then a 21-5, 21-7 win over Georgina Bland and Samadani Witunji. And then in the quarterfinals, an epic encounter against Chloe Birch and Jenny Warwick, 21-19, 18-21, 21-14. But a much easier route through the semi-final against Liu and Ngang, 21-10, 21-15. Their opponents, Jenny Moore and Viki Williams, the 3rd seeds, came through with a bye in the opening round, a 21-16, 21-10 in the second round, a 21-13, 21-7 win in the quarterfinals against Banerjee and Pugh, and another stunning performance last night in the semi-finals against Helena Levchinska and Emily Westwood, 21-14, 21-18. Lauren Smith, 24 years old, from Carlisle in Cumbria, reigning national champion in 2013 and 2014. However, a new partnership this year with Heather Over, formerly partnered Gabby Adcock, who's chosen to just play mixed doubles. Now, both pairs winning medals at the recent Commonwealth Games. Sorry, both pairs, both players, as in Heather Over and Lauren Smith. Their opponents, Viki Williams and Jenny Moore, only really just coming out of the junior game. Jenny Moore from Cheshire, Viki Williams from Hampshire, both studying at the University of Loughborough. However, still training on a full-time basis as well as doing those degrees. They're the reigning under-19 women's doubles champions. And they also won a silver medal at the European Under-17 Championships in 2011. So, up-and-coming stars against the kind of older campaigners, Nathan.
They are, for Moore and Williams, an opportunity to impress not only the watching crowd, but the England coaches, the whole England setup are here watching. We know about Over and Smith, they're the big favourites, but if Moore and Williams can start strong, we know that they can rally. Physically, they might be able to compete. I think Lauren Smith will dominate the court with her strength and power. But if Moore and Williams can start well, certainly on defence, then they have every chance of getting themselves into this match and having a very good account of themselves.
Absolutely. Now, I occasionally go and train at Loughborough University and have trained with Moore and Williams, and they do work very, very hard in training, considering they're on full-time degree courses. Obviously, that was a choice they made to go to university instead of going potentially full-time to the national squad in Milton Keynes. You know, at the end of the day, it's not all about badminton in your life. They feel like they need those degrees under their belts before they kind of try and go for it probably on a full-time basis. But they're here in the final, Nathan, without dropping one game.
No, they've looked strong, smooth route through to the final. And the thing about these, Over and Smith are a relatively new partnership. The Moore-Williams partnership have been playing together now for quite some time, and they train together all the time, so they won't have communication problems. They should be an established pair, so they really do have a chance to get at the more established pair on court today.
Well, both 19 years old, and like the last match, Sam Parsons, 19 years old as well. Is that a good sign for them?
Whether it's a good sign or not, they'll have certainly watched that match and seen someone who they'll have grown up through junior badminton with becoming national champion just some 15-20 minutes ago. And this is the next generation of English women's doubles players on court here. And we also saw in the semi-final opponents of Over and Smith a fantastic performance by a 15 and 16-year-old, which is great to see for the future. And hopefully we're going to see these girls come through to become world-class badminton players.
Not just going wide.
One love.
But the top seeds, Heather Over and Lauren Smith, like you say, Nathan, the definite favourites for the match. Both coming away with 2 medals from the recent Glasgow Commonwealth Games. But they had a shaky quarter-final against Jenny Warwick and Chloe Birch.
They did. Warwick, a sort of star of the past England team who, you know, left the England setup a year and a half ago, but still plays in the NBL, in the new National Badminton League, still plays in the German league, so he's training all the time. And Chloe Birch is, you know, a member of the England squad now, so that was always going to be a really tough match for them.
2-1. Make that 3-1. Return just into the net from Jenny Moore.
The start all important here for these younger players. Yes, there's nerves in a national final, and for the 2 girls here, the start all important to get just a foothold in the game as the defence goes wide by OLVER.
2, 3.
Good serve. Good rotation from OLVER. Now Heather OLVER and Lauren Smith ranked 48 in the world. You know, a new partnership, just climbing up those rankings. But obviously got to get into the top 28 in the world to be able to get a certain place in a Super Series.
Well, I think that's achievable for them. They'll certainly be hoping to, as they get a full quota of 10 tournaments, which is what your world ranking is divided by, to get themselves into the top 30, maybe top 25, and then look to go on from there. Lauren Smith is certainly a player for the future who has improved rapidly in the 2 or 3 years she's been in the England squad, and still looks like she's got a lot of improvement to go, and doesn't look like there's that many weaknesses in the game. Her strength was always there, her physicality, and she's working on, you know, the finer touches of the game around the net area.
They lead 5-3 in the opening game, just a couple of minutes been played. That's good reading of the game from Smith. I've seen that return a serve 3 times now from Viki Williams. Right onto the forehand of Lauren Smith, and she's ready to pounce. That's a great return of serve.
Service over.
Stamping her foot as she stepped into the return.
6.
It's a much better place to play your returns in ladies doubles. Stronger, deeper to the rear corner. If you push them just soft into the midcourt, you give your opponents a chance to jump forward.
7-4.
Well, a poor serve from Heather OLVER, something again like Gabby Adcock she's been struggling with over the years. Almost, it's got to be in the mind when you struggle with your low serve, because it's such a simple action.
I think it's all in the mind.
Service over.
You know, we all feel nerves when we're on court, when we're serving, but it's just the composure and the real belief in the mind, in your service action, that you can deliver the same serve over and over again. Every player can do it in practice, and it's only when we go into that competitive environment, when we've got an opponent facing us, suddenly the nerves kick in and the mind starts doubting the technique. And then, you know, when you've got someone only a couple of meters away wanting to really attack aggressively your serve, that's when it can all go wrong.
6-9. Service over.
Just a few early errors from Williams and Moore.
6.
10-6 now, the number 1 seeds lead. It just seems to me she drops the shuttle.
7.
She hits it instead of hitting it straight out the fingers.
Yeah, that one just looked like it dropped slightly before the shuttle was struck. And those easy quick points will be positive for the young girls, Moore and Williams, but the halfway lead is for OLVER and Smith at 11-7. Morton Williams being coached by fellow Loughborough student and badminton player Greg Mayers.
Greg having his NBL debut on Monday night. Actually played very well. Just didn't quite have the quality. But great opportunity for these young players to play in the National Badminton League. I think that's, you know, why it was originally set up. Get our youngsters in and competing against the top players in the country on a more regular basis. You know, you can join us in the action live on Sky Sports every month with the NBL. You can also join us on Twitter with the NBL. You can go to either at Badminton England or at National Badminton League. Certainly has gone down well so far, the NBL, Nathan.
Well, I've been involved in it for 2 years of setting it up, and I really think it's been a huge success. We've had exciting, close matches. We've had, you know, some top European talent mixing it with the very best in England, and we've also seen, like we said, some of the emerging talent. So, such a positive start for the NBL, and for me, the quicker it grows, and you know, the more we can get it out there, the more matches we can get. It's really going to be a really strong thing for the future, and it's something that these players now really look forward to every month.
Well, back to the Nationals. 13-7 now, the number 1 seeds lead. Good defence. But that's even better defence. A great shot from Heather OLVER.
Rally of the match so far.
7.
Both pairs looked like they had the chance to win early on. The rally went on. In the end, it was OLVER on defence, pushing it into the open court.
Oh, finding the gap. Brilliant from Williams.
I love to see that clever play, turning the wrist, turning the shuttle cross court. Smith had done that play before in the game, looking for the forehand interception. Williams clever to turn it cross.
Still trailed by 6 points though, 8-14 after just 7 minutes. And that one going wide.
Service over.
But it's a tough ask for a pair of 19-year-olds to come to the national final for the first time and compete against the quality of the number 1 seeds. There's that return of serve again.
Service over.
Very surprising that Heather OLVER ran the other way.
9,
she hasn't played
15.
a different return of serve as yet.
No, Williams always looking to jump forward and push it down the forehand side. But
Service
after
over.
a great return, it's followed by a nervy
9.
serve into the net. To apply any kind of pressure, when you get a point, you've got to make your opponents work for the next point as well. You can't just give it back easily.
Great rally. Longest rally of the match. Oh, and good placement down the middle. Misunderstanding from the top seeds, Smith and OLVER.
What great encouragement
Service
for the
over.
two 19-year-olds to
10,
rally like that, where they've
16.
made their senior opponents work so hard and they've come out on top. That can only give them real incentive, and maybe that's the way forward for them, to really keep these rallies long, work the whole of the court real deep to the rear.
Good
Service
defence
over.
from OLVER. Very quick reactions.
17.
Williams not quite
10.
ready at the net. 17-10. 4 required for the opening game. Well, there's that cross-court block again. That feels one questionable thing about OLVER and
Service
Smith for
over.
me, Nathan. Doesn't seem to be a really
11-17.
distinctive net player.
It does seem that they're going for like the full court, both players being good in all areas of the court, which, yes, they've got to rotate, but certainly Lauren Smith is a power player. You would think that they would favour Lauren being at the back, Heather being, she is quick at the net. She was a fantastic
18.
mixed doubles player
11.
as well. You partnered her. She's quick onto the net.
It definitely looks like they like to rotate away from the net, which is obviously going into world badminton. Generally, in most pairs, even within the ladies' game, where the rallies do go on longer and the smashes aren't so powerful,
11.
there is always one dominant net player and one rear court player.
Yeah, in all the great pairs in the world, even, we say the most dominant ladies doubles pair in recent years has been Yu Yang and Wang Zhaoli, and it was Zhaoli at the back always and Yu Yang at the net. She was the predator at the net while her hard-working,
game
big-hitting
points.
partner was
11.
behind her, and she had the biggest smash in women's badminton. I think it's safe to say.
It's game point to the top seeds,
Game.
and that goes long. Oh, a tough challenge for the 19-year-olds.
First game won by Heather Olver and Lauren Smith.
21-11 in the opening
21-11.
game, just taking 11 minutes. Greg Mayer's got it all to do. What could you tell the younger players to do, Nathan, in this situation?
21-11, so comfortable scoreline. They would have been encouraged by a couple of the longer rallies, but it's just there's a gap in class of the two pairs, and it's being shown all over the court. Gary Fox there, partner to Lauren Smith in the mixed doubles, now assisting as coach. Here's coach at High Wycombe Performance Centre. And as well as just saying tactics, he'll just be reminding the girls to stay mentally switched on.
Oh, another interesting question from Ryan Wakefield on Twitter. He's put, all the finals have been dominant in 2 games so far. Do we think this game could go the same way? Well, you'd have to say on the opening game, absolutely.
Yeah, and what we are looking at an experienced senior England squad pair against, a pair who've just come out of juniors and 19 years old. So there is a big gulf in the performance of these two pairs in the last few years, and I think the next final, the men's doubles, we might be saying slightly different, slightly harder to call, and looking at a closer match.
Love all. Play.
But is that a bit of a worry, Nathan, that here we are in the national finals and they're all being very dominantly won? Is there a bit of a gap between the top player and the second and third players and pairs?
There is a gap, and we'd love to have
One.
a squad full of world-class players and, multiple players inside the top 10, 20 in the world. But right now we are just missing that. We've got Chris and Gabby Adcock, world-class, obviously. We've got Raj Youssef, who was in the top 10 in the world. We've got a couple of men's doubles players who have, challenged and beaten some of the top players in the world. But we are lacking that depth of squad and the sort of depth of world-class that Denmark have, for example. They have 10 players who are world class, and we need to really get that and build that for the future.
I know we've spoken about this, Nathan, about looking to the younger players, the juniors, and trying to get them with the mentality that these players have, and at 13, 14 years of age.
Yep. The earlier that they get that mentality of what it takes to be a world class player, because it's a long road from junior badminton, and you can't step straight from juniors into seniors, and it's only a sort of rare talent that can do that, and not one that's produced year on year. But we need to produce players 1, 2, 3 a year who come out and who can challenge these squad players year on, so that they're under pressure always to keep pushing themselves as well.
Well, a bizarre rally. Heather Olver literally on all fours at the front of the court. You can see slightly embarrassed, but Lauren Smith just playing singles.
Well, that's technically called the crouching tiger, and then Lauren Smith does all the rest of the work, playing basically singles and doing a damn fine job of it and finding the rear of the court for the winner.
Well, it's not a good start for the youngsters. 6-0 at the start of the second game. Olver and Smith taking the first 21-11. I think that's 7-0. Shuttles look to be flying quicker with this particular speed.
Now, if we talk about Lauren Smith, Anthony, she's a young player who's quickly developed into what looks like the best ladies doubles player in the squad now in England and the UK. What's the future for Lauren Smith? She's now in a new partnership with Heather Olver, which I think is good for the time being, but is there, you know, is there someone out there that can take her maybe into the top 20, top 10 in the world potentially in future years?
Service over.
Yeah, that's a good question. Lauren Smith, for me, definitely the outstanding ladies doubles player. Doesn't have any weaknesses. I'd like to see her be more aggressive on the net, of course, but there's one player that I've seen, you know, quite a bit recently in training and certainly shown it well in the NBL, and I think that's Chloe Birch. Very, very powerful young lady, and actually would allow Lauren to get to the net more. Very, you know, you'd have two incredibly powerful girls on court together, and would actually make a very good combination, but not right now. I think Chloe needs a few more years to sort of develop into that game.
That could be a very good call for the future, Anthony. And I think that power is the word maybe that we use with the top ladies doubles players now. You've got to have the power. It's very rare that skill can win over power now in the ladies doubles game. It's become a really physical, really aggressive game, and you've got to have the power.
10-1.
Well, it's certainly Smith and Olver showing the power at the moment. Just too dominant at the start of this second. 10-1 they lead. Worrying signs for the youngsters. Heather Olver should really have stepped in and punched that hard into the corner. Bit of a loose block. Viki Williams pounces on the net kill. 2-10 now.
10.
What a rare miss from Smith. Took her eye off the shuttle.
10.
Oh, that kill looked so easy there. I think that she did just relax mentally. She'd almost put it on the floor before the shuttle had gone over. Hit the tape on her side. But that one has fallen into the net by Jenny Moore, and the halfway lead in this second game is comfortable for the #1 seeds and big favourites, Olver and Smith.
Well, a formality for me. Long way back now for the 19-year-olds. 11-3, 21-11 in the opening game. We've only been playing 18 minutes. Gary Fox even staying in his chair this time. Doesn't need to give the information. Feels his pair under complete control.
Oh, they are a comfortable lead here. And for Olver, I think it's going to be 6 times bridesmaid in the ladies' doubles. Never quite managing to get over the line. And I think this is looking a formality that she's going to become women's doubles champion for the first time. I think it's going to take a loss of concentration, a letdown in standards by Smith and Olver as Smith's first serve goes into the net.
11.
Still a 7-point lead though. 4-11. That's very short. another easy put away. This time for OLVER. And a total miss hit.
5-11.
5-11.
And a bit of a sloppy start for the second half of this second game by the number 1 seeds. It's given a slight chink of light for Morn Williams.
That goes wide. Oh, there's the
6,
danger of the coach
11.
staying in the chair and not going on and saying, right, girls, keep the pressure on. They've just slackened off.
Well, it's never bad to be reminded, and complacency in sport is not a good word that you want to be associated with. But that one's
Service
just
over.
missed the line by
12-6.
Williams.
And that's good reading of the game. Interesting how with
13,
Lauren
6.
Smith and Heather OLVER, when the rear court player's smashing, the forecourt player moves right back to the try and then step forwards onto the net. Worked well on that occasion, but for me, it just looks like the front of the court is wide open.
It's a good tactic if your opponents are playing hard pushes or hard drives off the attack.
14,
But like you say, we've seen a couple of
6.
times Williams and Moore been able to block into the open court. But it worked that time for OLVER.
14-6, 8-point gap. Closing in. And a bit of confusion
Service over.
on who was going to take the lift. And a good
7,
layoff from
14.
Jenny Moore. 7-14.
Well, a wild return
8,
by Lauren Smith onto the
14.
red carpet, even off the mat.
That's good rotation
over.
from the top seeds.
15-8.
Just needs 6 now for the title. This will be Lauren Smith's 3rd title in a row. Oh, skills from OLVER.
Fantastic low backhand, kept them in the rally. Can they finish the job?
And it's ended up with a rather lapsadaisical drive high, but not the winner.
16-8.
She's a very slight player, Heather OLVER, but does have a very big smash.
Yeah, such a, as you say, slight player, Anthony. She's got a big wind up, but she does hit it hard for someone so light.
Good call from Lauren Smith.
17.
Takes them to within 4.
As that return just lands long, a 10-point gap has
18.
been opened up
8.
by the top seeds as they close in on their first national title together. And that's clever play by Smith. It was a good return. She just turned the racket and
19.
pushed the lift
8.
cross-court. Deception at the last minute. Another kill by OLVER. And it's
20. Match point
8.
8.
13 match points. It's not a question as if they'll be national champions now. It's just a question of when.
Service over. 9.
The first chance is
20.
missed with a push wide by OLVER. But she knows now that the national title is on the way to her. Two match
10.
points saved.
20.
Ten to go for the two 19-year-olds to save, if it's to be a miracle comeback. Oh, and she's left that one and it's landed in as well. 3 match points saved by Moore and Williams. As Smith and OLVER struggle to just get themselves over the line.
Game.
But this time it's on the floor. The relief for Heather OLVER. She's finally national women's doubles champion. Smith and OLVER take the title 21-11, 21-11. A comfortable victory for the top seeds. Moore and Williams, two young 19-year-olds, put up a good
Match
fight.
won by Heather OLVER.
But it was always
Lauren
going
Smith,
to be
21-11,
the title for Smith and OLVER. Their first national title together. The moment, the realisation that 6 defeats for OLVER has turned into a national title here in 2015. And it's over to Anthony Clark, who is with our two champions down at courtside.
Lauren, Heather, many congratulations, but 3 on the bounce now. Lauren, you must be delighted.
Yeah, really pleased. I came here with the expectation to win, and we've delivered. So really pleased with the performance. First win with Heather, which is nice. So yeah, it's going in good directions. Hopefully a few more in the future.
Now, Heather, without trying to rub this in, it was 5 previous finals. 6th time lucky.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, I'm back in Sussex. So what more can I ask for? Yeah, I'm thrilled to finally have got that women's doubles title.
Well, this is a partnership that's only started since September. Where are you looking to go from here?
We are going to try for qualification. That's the aim. We know it's a long, hard path, but we're working really hard at the minute. Just kind of taking it one tournament at a time and learning what we can. And so far, I've really enjoyed it and going in the right direction.
And how many hours a week do you have to put into training together, do you think, to make a new partnership click?
Yeah, well, every single session we're together. So yeah, every day, twice a day. Yeah, sometimes we grind on each other, but yeah, we know we both want the same thing. So yeah, it's really going in a good direction.
And is the All England Championships the next thing?
Yeah, we've got a couple of tournaments. Europeans, Austria, German All England. So we've got a big chunk of tournaments coming up, and hopefully want to perform at the All England. That's the place to do it.
Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, your 2015 Ladies Doubles Champions, Lauren Smith and Heather OLVER.
Well, you heard it there from the girls. The road to Rio is their dream, and a 2015 Ladies Doubles national title is a nice way to start on that path. Lots of tournaments coming up for the champions. European Championships this year. All England in March, big goal at the new Barclaycard Arena.
Now welcome to
as we now
presentation
pass it down to the presentation party for the presentation of the trophies to the runners-up and the champions.
Board, and Derek Batchelor, Chair of Badminton England. We now invite Dave Eddy to present the silver medals to our 2015 women's doubles runners-up. Please give a welcome to Jennifer Moore and Viki Williams. We now invite Mr. Derek Batchelor to present the gold medals and trophies to our English National Badminton Championships 2015 women's doubles champions, Heather OLVER and Lauren Smith.
So as our champions of 2015 receive their trophies off Derek Batchelor, we have one more final left to go today, and it's the men's doubles final between Chris Langridge and Marcus Ellis versus Matt Nottingham and Harley Towler. And we'll be back for that final just after a few short breaks. Join us for more live action here from the Crawley K2 in the English National Badminton Championships.